Hello, everybody. This is TanktheElder. You have stumbled upon Magic and Mayhem. As evidenced by the title of the stream, I am indeed building a Star Destroyer. And for the moment, let's do this. Give me just a second. There we go. Alright. We'll do that so that y'all can see what in the world I'm talking about. But yes, as you can see, I have begun building a Star Destroyer. Right now, one of the big projects, and I don't even think I have close to enough resources put together for it, is working on getting the keel put in on the... Actually, let's see. No, gold. Let's throw you guys in here for now. Because last time I was on, I was doing a bit of work for getting the... I was getting things put together to go ahead and get the elevators, both for going up and down in the vehicle, in the ship, to... basically, I built all of this, and I'm going to have to figure out how I want to deal with covering up the lava, and though it's much easier to miss at this point, there is soul sand poking out there. I do want to cover those to make life much better for everybody. But yeah, we want to continue getting this all set up. Because those very... I can words. Basically getting to the point where we actually have those elevators put in is going to allow me to figure out how many more I need to even make, and kind of what we're anticipating off of each of them. So let's come running out here. Alright, so... I already need to eat steak, and all I did was come out to get some work done, so... but yeah, so today I'm intending to try and at least get most of the ribs that I'm using to subdivide the very bottom of the Star Destroyer put in. And if I can get that sorted, that means I'm that much closer to putting in the what will be the bottom layer of the keel, and then I can start going in and filling in between each of the ribs so that we know what it's actually going to be. And then I can also do some things when I get to those points where I can, drop some verticals down, and we know where we need to punch through to go ahead and open up the hangar bay. And once we have the hangar bay open, we're cooking along pretty well for how long I've been at this, and the fact that I really only let myself play when I'm streaming, and I don't get to stream for very long just because of how life currently happens to be structured for myself. So yeah, I have been working on this for a little while, and it's kind of nice every time I come in and do more of these. It feels like I'm making progress, and given the hundreds of thousands of let's see. Well, we're gonna do it, and we're just gonna go from there. We'll find out how poorly I've done this later. But yeah, knowing that this is going to be a massive build, and I will probably have several smaller builds around here for like spaceport facilities built actually before I finish all of this. Shouldn't be that much of a surprise when you consider just how many of these ribs it takes, and the fact that it takes, here in the very middle of the ship. I don't want to. Okay. Some janky things are going on. We'll play around with that as we finalize some other things. But yeah, we come along and build all this up and figure out, because it's taking something like 5 or 6 stacks to cover most of this distance. Because again, the length of the Star Destroyer as I'm building it is 900 blocks. Of course, we all know blocks are meters, so in that sense I didn't have to do too much by way of conversion when it comes to trying to build this up. Which is a good thing, because while I'm more than capable of using math and measurements and the like, the fewer times you have to convert things and remember even what order you're attempting to convert from one unit to a different unit, just keeps it cuts way down on what you're, like, how you're actually building things and the possibility of error. Because, like, so if you've heard of the Mars rover that we sent that pancaked into the surface of Mars, thus costing us billions of dollars to basically learn that converting between metric and imperial units has to be done in the same way for everybody whose hands are in on a particular project, and it's the kind of thing that got preached pretty regularly in terms of motivation while I was working at Lockheed to do your level best to make sure that you were actually dotting all of your I's and crossing all of your T's. Because again, at this point, we created a bunch of space junk because 2 different departments used 2 different conversions between imperial and metric, and that was not taken into account prior to launching the mission. And so all of the little things added up to to destroying what should have been a perfectly functional space vehicle, turning that into space junk before it could do any of its mission, much less useful things that it had been designed to do. Well, we're getting out there. Okay, so it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll probably do this one, and then we'll start seeing what kind of fiddly things I need to end up doing. So, but yeah. So that was one of the warnings that ended up baked into my skull during that job, and so it's one of the things that I've kept with me as I've looked at what I'm trying to do here and figure out how I'm actually building this massive thing based on the fact okay, the base measure that I have in my in the resources that I've been using to figure out how things are structured and whatnot, trying to make sure that I have kept all of that as accurate and important as keeping within certain degrees of failure. It's the information I have is okay, it's so many meters long. Well, now if I have that and I have an accurate and I have a drawing of it, I can take that drawing and go, okay, here are these things that are going on, and okay, I might actually be able to get most of the way there off of this. So apparently my wife feels like she's at a good place to just go ahead and keep texting me. So that's what you hear going on. I know the pro YouTube move would be to turn that off, but quite frankly, there's a bunch of things that I'm kind of waiting on right now that I need to be as sure as possible that I have... What in the... Okay, not sure what I did there. How it bumped me out of... So, yes. So, any of you who have not seen so far as I've been building, I do have cheats on. I mostly use them for things like that. I have used them to build a few areas that I thought would be very difficult to figure out scaffolding-wise to keep myself where I wanted to be. Okay. No, 10 Keel. So yeah, I have been trying to sort things out as best I can, and let's see, let's go to 60 on this, and see, okay, so that is, hey you, glad you dropped by. Alright, I think we're far enough, we're gonna go ahead and do this. So yes, this is my aforementioned wife, Allura. She is wonderful. And So yeah, I'm coming in and trying to get all this laid in. But yeah, it's been interesting because I feel like the most accurate way I have to measure my reference materials are using a ruler that I have that is set up in inches, but I then have to make correspond to what's happening with the rest of this. And again, since Minecraft blocks are a meter wide, okay, just they can leave a massage. Suppose that might be a reason to silence it now that it is out on the desk. So, this one might actually work out reasonably well. Nice. Alright. So yeah, I haven't gotten anything. I've been checking my email. Supposedly sometime here between 3 and 4. But I haven't actually gotten any invites or anything like that to work off of. Let me check one other place that it might be. But yeah, so I don't know exactly what's happening at this point. It was not, I don't think, because the interview is supposed to be a meet, a Windows meeting thing, and I've received no invitations or any further information that way. So we'll just, I'm going to have to keep checking things. I am going to, since I picked it up and stopped playing, we'll do that real quick. Alright, so I think we're close enough at this point. We're just going to finish this out. And if I need to alter it in some way later, we can do that. Oh dear. Come on. Place the block. I appreciate that it's more or less out of range for those, but that's still a little creepy. Alright. So, it's a pretty good job on that. Alright, so let's move that and get that. Feels strange that it came up that fast. I don't think I double placed anything. So we'll just have to see what happens. Well, see if there's any kamikaze spiders. I'd rather not run off. So, and of course those creepers are precisely, more so than anything, any of the other mobs, the creepers are the reason why I very much want to have as much of this set up to be mob proof as possible. So yeah, okay. Either way. So 1, 6, 7, 8. Almost 9 to make that connect. So but yeah, so we'll have some good times. Found the one piece of... Oh, there's... I guess he is. Okay. Well, we will turn him into zombie food. Which is a little silly to say because he is a zombie already. He's not really food. Okay. So now we do boing. But yes, as Alora pointed out in chat, I am supposed to have an interview, supposedly today, for a possible job, which will mean that me streaming is probably going to get shaken up again, which will be interesting to see if that does anything to the algorithm or not. There you are. Hi, buddy. Hi, buddy. You dancing? You doing the water dance? Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and eat this, because, you know, I'm gonna need it. I'd rather have full hunger and not suffer any consequences if I get attacked by surprise. Until the first one that I noticed splashed back down into the water, I didn't see the drown that was throwing the tridents at me. So, because I was focused on what I was doing, and it's one thing I don't care for. I understand why they do it, because most times when I'm building, yes, give me the partial stack, I will put that in. But this, I'm actually trying to keep accurate counts on how I'm doing things so that they all fall out at more or less the same rate. As I'm laying these in. But I think sometimes, like, okay. Nothing janky on those, so. But yeah, it's nice getting these because it means that I actually have a way to sit there and go, oh, okay, I'm actually making some progress on getting something done on here. Instead of fighting myself going like, I don't know how I want to deal with, like, how big do I want to make the hangar bays? Where do I want to have things stored? How do I, do I attempt to make as much of the Star Destroyer as possible functional, as well as sculptural? Because, let's face it, this is going to end up being a large piece of artwork. And because of that, there's some things that I can just go ahead and build some of the Imperial shuttles and things like that. But if I'm building TIE fighters, shuttles, what have you, am I leaving places around where I can, populate things with villagers over time? Or do I just make them and have it be, essentially it's just the building. There's no attempts to really, aside from a few things like my iron farm or that farm, the Guardian farm. There's no real attempt made to actually create functional farms in this. It's just going to be a really big walk-through museum kind of build. And I haven't determined that. Part of it is I feel like I'm certain it's that I am spending so much time just trying to get, I have placed thousands of blocks here on the bottom. I can see my phone, so if something comes, I'll be able to see it, Allura. So it's right on the desk in front of me. So if something comes up again, I will be able to see it. But yeah, I understand your concern. So that is one of the reasons why I put it on the desk too, was I wanted to make sure I can see it, and if I see something important, I can sort out what's going on. And yes, I am more than a little frustrated that I've not heard things. One of the things that I thought of that might have happened is the person or one of the people involved in the interview is actually on vacation because it is summertime. And so if they have children, it is very possible that they have taken the week off or something. Though I'd have thought there'd have been something to that effect as we were talking about things. I don't know. I'm just... yeah. So I will keep checking things, and again, until I get sent something to act on, I can't. So I'm doing this, which is the next best thing I've got. So alrighty. Oh, excuse me. That's the part that has me going, okay, what did I do that's off? Or did I just not count well while I was doing those? I don't know at this point. So... we'll keep rolling as best we can. So, but yeah, I will reach out here in a little bit and see if he's got anything more. So, and see what he's got to say. I know, honey, I know. I understand, and believe me, I'm just as concerned for all it doesn't sound like it. But this is one of the reasons why I don't like things like this, because it's not in my control. Because if it was up to me, I wouldn't be doing this right now. I'd be in the middle of that interview. So... And we will have to go back for more, but that is alright. Yep, I'm gonna have to go back for more. That's okay. We get through all of this fun stuff. Sorry, trains of thought have been broken up, and... Alright. So... Yeah. Well, we'll just go back and get another full... pocketfuls of sacks of stone and go from there. And I might... Gotta figure out what I want to do. Because for all that the box that I put around the ocean monument has kept most of the Elder Guardians, or most of the Guardians, from spawning out close to me, there are more things that can and will spawn outside of that box. Plus, I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do. I believe at least somewhere in there, one of the ribs is gonna have to appear to continue right through it. But I do love doing this, of like just continuing to run towards the back, and more of it starts filling in, and I go, oh wow, I've actually done some work here. So... think I did recently, didn't I? Because that isn't much of anything. I guess there's not a whole lot here. Yep. That's right. I guess I did check it the other day. Which I got 4 stacks of iron out of that time. So that was nice. Where I didn't quite get a full stack this time. And my, aren't those cows loud? Oops. That's the one. Okay. This one. Okay. Take a nippy nap. Nippy nap, nippy nap. But yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out, because there's gonna be a few of those that have to get installed around this, because I'm not gonna tear the farm down, because I want to be able to farm guardians. So there's a chance, though I feel like it's a little unlikely, that I will end up using the Prismarine for at least parts of the TIE fighters. We'll see. So that's yet another thing I'm going to have to try and figure out how I'm building. And do so in such a way that we can get where we're going with them. Yeah, a little bit, huh? I mean, hey, as long as it's moving, should be in good shape. What do you... Alrighty. So... yeah. It's one of those projects that I don't want to overwhelm myself with all of the different things. Like... excuse me. I don't want to go back and think about the fact that the the bridge tower needs to, you want ramen, it looks like pizza with some whipped cream, which is weird, and a frittata, I guess? So, but yes, I'm curious to see what all... yeah, we'll go as far as we can on this one. It's gonna get us close, and I think it'll look pretty natural then for whatever difference is left. Yeah. Alright. Now we can do that. So we're not counting precisely. So, I mean, that's not too bad at that point. It's only three blocks off. So, yeah. Excuse my yawns. What I probably should have done, quite honestly, once I was sure one way or the other that interview might not be happening, what I might have been better off doing is taking plans for a nap. But I know one of the better things that you can do for your channel is to show up at the same times as best you can. So, unless or until there's a reason to not give this as good a try as I can, I'm going to be here as best as possible, Mondays and Fridays. So, oh, excuse me. Gotcha. I'm just going off of what I can see on the thing, but those make sense too. It doesn't help that they're like a half-inch icon. Apparently you're very hungry because you keep throwing food at me. And now you're doing it with food that I'm not interested in at all. As you well know. Love you, my darling. So. Keep working at this and get some more things done. Boing, 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 boing. And really what... excuse me. Really what you're saying is you want me to just let you go to one of the many fabulous Asian places that we have around here and just go crazy. Which is okay. it is in fact one of the better things about living here in Denver, that we have the access to good food like that. That is sadly lacking in other places that, I've lived. Oh, I'm sorry. I wish we could get it to decide what it wants to do. I'm sure no more than you do, but still. So. Granted, you also have fewer problems most of the time when we have Asian of one flavor or another. So, who's to say? This is one of the times that I don't like how afternoons go after a morning of driving. Because I do get to this point where I'm very yawny, yappy, trouble concentrating, all that. Okay, that's actually from church. Let's do that just to see. Yep. Okay. So, I think at this point I will give him a call when I'm done streaming and see what he has to say. So, oh, I hadn't thought of that. Is that what it's doing? And I've just been frustrating myself because that would make sense to me, programming wise. Sorry, what I'm mumbling about is they have introduced a key to grab, if you have more of the block type that you're looking at, you can click a key and it will pull the next stack. And I think I just realized the reason it automatically reverts to the smallest stack is I have had them placed in the because most times when it is reading inventory, it reads across this line, then that line, and then down into here. So, which makes sense then that it would grab the lower stack. Because I've also had times where I'm like, okay, I don't want the lowest stack, I just want, or I don't want a full stack, I just want the stack that I was using. And it goes, no, here's a full stack. I need to do a better job of keeping track of those kinds of things on this, because I sound like a very, very poor Minecraft tuber for not knowing these things. So, and of course there are plenty of the folks in the community that do a really, really good job of staying on top of all of those kinds of things. because they've made it their job for so long, that they kind of, they do a very good job of staying on top of how the sausage is made, because they've been earning their livings using all that information. Whereas I am still basically an enthusiastic player of the game, as opposed to somebody who's depending on it to earn my income. Sit here, we're going to get these filled in, and then I have to make decisions about how I am working on a few of those that put me in very close proximity to the Guardians, because unfortunately while doing this there's no good way that I'm aware of to block the I-beams from the Guardians, to not get myself knocked off of what I'm doing, so that I can actually build. And that is one of the complications of working in survival mode as opposed to peaceful or creative. But it's also, those kinds of challenges are actually a lot of the reason why I want to do this in survival. Because I want that challenge of, okay, how do we get this squared? Excuse me. How do we get it squared away so that we can get it built? With the restrictions of, I have to go and actually farm stacks of blocks and place them all individually is a little bit too restrictive on what I'm doing, but I have to say, I don't have it's not like I have some of the tools that will let me just paint in blocks where I want them and go, aha, and now we just remove the things we don't like, which is how my brain usually thinks. Which makes for some interesting circumstances here. Because I'm not an additive sculptor sort of person in the first place. My brain can see let's say a cube of material, get an image of something I would want to carve out of it, and it has very few problems, relative to my capacity for sculpting in that medium. My brain has very little problems pulling an image out of something that's already been, like I said, taking a cube of marble or something along those lines and making an image with it. Whereas here in Minecraft, building this, I'm spending a lot of time trying to figure out how do I get things made the way I want them made by adding items together, as opposed to bringing out the things that I'm seeing from a solid mass. And I do have to say that the challenge here with the Star Destroyer is that it's just so big. that it can be a real tussle to, like, I don't know of anywhere that I have seen in this world where I could go in and actually sculpt this out of the ground. There's always some portions of it that would end up having to be hand built, even just to fill in cracks and crevices and the like. If I had, tried to build it somewhere else. So, what's that? I think we're going to do a 16 here. And that might even be a little too long. No, that was about right. Okay. So, yeah, okay. Glad we did it that way. I think that's going to look a little nicer when all is said and done. There's going to be some really janky looking bits in certain parts of this build. And you know what? I'm okay with that. It's just how it's gotta be. Is it just one? I guess so. Okay. Then we're about to finish the western half of the ribs of this Star Destroyer. Which that'll be really, really good. That is definitive progress. We like definitive progress. So, alright. Nope. Alrighty. I'm sorry, guys. My mind has blanked out almost entirely. So I guess I hope you enjoy Minecraft ASMR. Right here with TanktheElder. Listen along as I place blocks. And yes, I am ridiculous, and I am okay with this. My name is Tank. I'm ridiculous, and I'm okay with that. I'm sorry, babe. They keep getting you really, really close, but they're gonna feed you through the whole way. I was kind of surprised this morning. I ended up with... I guess the big question is, how long have you been sitting there for now? And are you still getting steady movement up in the line? The usual questions we ask. Because if you are getting movements, then honestly, this time of day, I would say if it continues moving, stick around for it and then figure out the rest from there. If you stalemated, then I'd say it's probably time to go. But if it seems like every 5 to 10 minutes you're bumping up another section, it's probably okay to stick around. It may not be as effective as it when you get the express, but if you're at least getting movement, it shouldn't be horrible. So, because I was surprised before I had one where I was in the parking lot for a while. Let's see. 30 minutes. I mean, it's going to stay about as busy as it is for the next couple of hours, I think. Yeah, I hate saying it because it's one of those things where every time you make a choice on that, it feels like they go, oh, well, you're going to do that? Well, fine, I'm going to do this, that, or the other. Which is frustrating. So, but yeah, if you've moved up pretty regularly, and now that you're within how many they have there, unless you see the rides per hour drop off sharply or something like that, I don't think it's the worst play to stick around for a bit yet. So, and of course we don't have, I don't know about you, my Magic 8 Ball has only been giving me vague assurances that nothing disastrous is likely to happen. So, there's that. But, alright, so oh yeah, we got plenty to... Rolling. Plus, there's always the fact that it seems to enjoy giving you the ones way up north and whatnot, so catching one of those makes up for not having something for an hour or 45 minutes or so. Sorry, I'm attempting to talk very vaguely just because it's about our work, and attempting not to say, I don't know, driving for Lyft is one of those things where I can tell you the strategies, and yet the only way you really make it work one way or the other is to, in fact, just be out on the clock and driving. I've used a number of strategies in the time that I have done it. They've all kind of worked, and they've all had their days where it completely backfires. And no especially good ways that I can tell to know which way life is going to work for you that day. So, but it's also one of those where, for privacy reasons, try not to say too much, because, yeah, like, yes, I'm attempting to build something here on YouTube, and that means inviting people close, but internet close is a very different thing than, hey, you're actually in my life right now. Alright, but yeah, still finish this up. And hopefully we don't have troublesome things happen. I mean, that's not ideal. But apparently I am just out of range at this height. Which is good to know that, you know. Is that really? Oh, it is. Oh, okay. Well, let's place what we can place. Alright. We're gonna do this, because I need another stack of cobble anyway, so we're just gonna do this and call it good. I don't know why I have the cranberries stuck in my head. I shouldn't. I don't listen to them very often, but there they are. And they're taunting me about it too, because that's just how that song does. Let's do that. let's take a nappy nap. Nappy nap, 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 nap. It's a nap. I'm gonna get that nap. It's a fun little nap. Alright. I'm Superman. Ugh. Like, it's not like it's a bad song that is stuck in my head, but it is stuck, and that's where I start having the problems. So. And by that, we're going to be good on these. Yep. So, but yeah, we're building up. I don't know my boat terminology especially well. I know for sure that a keel is the center of the bottom of the boat. I don't remember how much of the bottom it actually denotes, though. Which is why I'm like, I think I said the right thing by calling it a keel. Oh, well, let's see. We'll come back here. I was gonna do that. Okay. Let's not take out and go for a swim. Okay. Sure. Because, I mean, let's face it, that's one of the things that you really do enjoy, getting out of the garden. So... well, and that's the thing is, if this year is meant to be more about the staples than things, and we already have volunteers doing the volunteer thing, maybe we just stick to the volunteers this year and next year figure out the possibly doing other things. It'd be interesting to see if any of the dolphins decide to come and give me a boost. Then we really be flying. This feels pretty epic. Swimming in through this. I'm happy about this. When I get back to someplace safe that I don't have to worry about drowning because of where I'm at, I think I'm gonna pull up and see how many days I've actually been playing in the world. And the nice thing is, for the most part, that's not going to include too much by way of AFK time, even though the blaze farm that I have for an XP farm, I've had to sit at for a while. Decision, because honestly I am getting very tired and I am going to have a 3-year-old in my life here in a little over an hour and a half. And while it sounds like Grandma did a really good job of giving him ways of being tired today, if I'm not on top of my game, it's going to be more struggle than I want. So I may call this so I can go take a rest and see if I can figure out what's going on for interview things too, so that we know what's happened there. Because finding that out will help inform a lot of things, like how often and how regularly I get the chance to keep doing this. So, there's the granite. We'll drop these off down here. So, let me come over here. I do want to see if I can tell. If I can count things. So looks like I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more ribs, and the entire keel will get belted in. That's going to alter how things go for you as well. And maybe for the better, maybe for the worse, depending on how they're getting planes in. So. Oh. Alright, let's look at the news. I think soon, probably when this gets done again, we'll go through, do a round of feeding, and then we'll make another couple of things of steak so that we can have steak to eat. But yes, unfortunately I can feel myself slowing down quite a bit, and I think I need to be wise about what happens for me. Sorry, buddy. Let's see. Okay. I thought I had. I did. Yeah. Hopefully, then it shouldn't affect them bringing the planes down. It'll just be a matter of how quickly people want to brave being out in that to catch their rides. So hopefully that won't be a major impact one way or the other. Alright, let's see, can we... Oh yeah, you can kind of see, I'm a little far away to point out a whole lot here. But yeah, I did find some really fun stuff to make that look kind of interesting, and we'll try and continue that up as we build up that. And I'm starting to think I need to very carefully take that all the way up to like 10 blocks under build limit. And do the, because that does not feel especially tall. It does when you're over there and you're like on it, but I do think I need to build it up higher before I call it good. So let's take a nap, and then we'll do that, and we'll transition over here like this so that I can say goodbye. Again, I am TanktheElder. Our channel here is Magic and Mayhem. Of course, if you have been on YouTube for any length of time, you know that liking and subscribing to channels and videos that you enjoy helps the creator out quite a bit. And I would love to be able to reach a point where we can continue doing these a lot more often and for a good long amount of time. So if you haven't already, please go ahead and do that for us. I will, at this point, with nothing changing it, I should be back about this time on Friday to continue building here on the Star Destroyer, and so I will hope to catch you all at that point in time. Thank you so much, and we'll catch you guys later.